foul. That was absolutely ridiculous.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
Up on down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series.
I don't know. It's tough. Tom's up there, man. Beantown.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 28 of the Beantown Takes podcast here. It's your boy Jesse Almeida here, back on YouTube and back on Beantown Takes. I'm here with you-know-who.
What's up?
And today we are doing this live, so everybody who's watching the live stream right now, welcome in chat. Definitely be engaged as we go along here. We talk about our Boston sports, and we got one team left, really, that we care about.
Yeah.
One team left that we care about. It's all on one team now, because one team got knocked off in the playoffs, and the other one, well, you guys know, we don't really care much about them right now. Especially you, as a Yankee fan.
Yep.
And we both, as a matter of fact, went to the same Bruins game.
We did.
He was in below me, though.
I was hoping to make like a guest appearance in that video, just like a quick zoom in.
Yeah, I know, right? Because I was all the way up in the balcony. You were up load 17. We actually spotted each other from a distance. You guys should have seen us. We were zooming in on Snapchat of each other from beyond the distance, and we were just saying, what the hell was that call, man?
Yeah. Yeah. I brought somebody who was a coworker, a friend of mine, who had no idea how crazy I get when they like blow calls and like are bad. I was like yelling, and they were like, "What the hell is going?"
Really?
Yeah. I was like, "What the hell? Go!" You know, I said some things that I don't know if YouTube would very much enjoy.
Oop, demonetized.
Oh yeah.
Fact.
So, yeah, it got fun. It got really funny.
All right, so who do you want to start off with first? We're not starting off with the Red Sox. Screw them. They're below 500 right now. We could start the NFL draft if you want, because that was the next time we were going to do a podcast, was when the NFL draft was. We can start off the Celtics, because their matchup was...
We could do the pass pretty... We can make that one out pretty quick.
Pass out first? All right, perfect. So, you got your prediction correct. And when I asked you their draft, I asked you, who are they drafting? You go, the wrong guy.
The wrong guy. So
we're going to start off with the Patriots, and we're going to go over their draft, and we're going to give our grades from the NFL draft.
Michael, what? Are you ready for some football?
I love the Patriots.
All right, so the Patriots have their new guy, and that is Drake May.
The wrong guy.
As he said in the last podcast also. Your opinions on the entire draft? Because they did get a couple of wide receivers in there also.
Yeah, I kind of like the wide receivers that they got, Polk and Baker. I think even though Baker was a fourth-round guy, and you know he might not have been the most talented in college, I like his swagger. He's got some. He got like
a killer instinct.
Yeah. He brings the attention, and like he can back it up. I like that. Polk, I think, balled up pretty well with Penix, the last year's quarterback. But it's kind of sad that Joe Milton's been the better quarterback in rookie camp so far by a long shot. And he was your 6th-round pick over your 3rd overall pick. You know, it's been pretty night and day as to which one was the better one. And, you know, the fact that Milton is... And I thought Milton would be better. He's more polished as a passer. He is a little older as well. But, you know, I think Drake May is a good back. It's somebody that is poised to sit behind somebody like Brissett that can teach him and hopefully teach him how to actually throw the ball and actually use his feet for footwork in passing. Because I think there's upside and potential. But I think if you ask me if you had to start a rookie week 1 on your roster, I would rather start Milton over May week 1 on your roster as it stands.
Well, because they're not going to go the same route as they did last year. Well, or as they did with the last quarterback, I should say, with Mac Jones. They kind of just threw him into the situation. You can't do that again. No matter who you got at quarterback, you really couldn't run that back again. You kind of need a quarterback to mentor the young guy off of, and that's kind of the route you need to go. Kind of like a bridge year quarterback. They're not going to do much this year, in my opinion. So, again, like you just said, though, for Drake May being the backup this year and going off of a mentor quarterback for this year, I don't mind it. But I need to get your thoughts on the Falcons pick with Michael Penix first.
I think
That was your guy.
it was the best prospect, but not the best
team
pick.
for him to go to.
The best pick.
Right.
Right. I think Penix, even before this year in college football, I think Penix was a top 10 player. I think he had real upside potential, to the point where I thought he could have been, I think he should have gone before Caleb Williams. I can see the hype around Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
So I don't, disagree with him
yeah,
going
right,
one.
exactly, yeah.
But I'm surprised that for some reason people passed on him as being QB2, QB3. I know age is a bit of a factor, but Jaden Daniels is actually older than Penix.
I know that.
So that's why I'm like, why? Drake May, I can see because, again, he's younger.
He's younger, yep.
So that makes sense,
Yep.
the potential upside there. And I know he's got some injury history,
Yep.
but Jaden Daniels also just kind of sucks, in my opinion. So that's why I was really surprised that he wasn't at least QB3 off the board. Definitely should have been QB2. So going 8th didn't surprise me. The team surprised me with the Falcons.
They just gave Kirk Cousins a big-ass contract, too.
They did, but Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback to learn from, and what it sounds like.
100%.
What it sounds like is that Cousins will take him under his wings, even though he's not the happiest about it. And I see Penix. Think about it. Everybody rashes on the Falcons for the Penix pick, but it's the same thing the Packers have done the last 2 quarterbacks. They had Favre. They paid Favre. They drafted a pretty old quarterback coming out of college in Rodgers,
Yep.
who sat for 3 years and then got the reins and became Rodgers.
Right.
They're doing that with Jordan Love, and Jordan Love in his first year as a starter
Been well.
looked damn
Yep.
good.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? It does happen where people do pay a quarterback who makes them relevant for 2 years, and then maybe by the 3rd, 4th year they look to try and move on from Cousins and trade him, and Penix is the guy, or it gives them 4 years to realize that Penix is the quarterback of the future,
Right.
or maybe they got to draft another quarterback coming up, and you still have Kirk Cousins to make you good.
Well, I got a question for you, because now, your path for the Patriots was for them to draft Marvin Harrison at the 3rd overall pick and then get Michael Penix.
I wasn't expecting Penix to jump up that high.
Me neither, and that's the point that I'm just getting across. I don't think anybody saw Michael Penix jumping that high. He was projected at first to be a 2nd-round pick. So for him to jump from, maybe mid-2nd-round pick to the 10th or 8th overall pick, whatever the Atlanta Falcons had as a pick, blew everyone away. All the quarterbacks that were really good, you even said Bo Nix was one of them that you wanted for the Patriots that would be a great fit. All of them landed in the 1st round when at first they weren't even mocked to be 1st-round picks.
Yeah. So, it makes sense that these teams evaluated these guys and said, you know what, this is the quarterback that we want, this is who we want, and they went out and got who they wanted. It's what you do. If you find a quarterback that you like, you draft him no matter where you're drafting. So, I think, for the most part, but for the Patriots to get May, I think that's more they got strong-armed by the media to pick him.
So the biggest need for the Patriots this draft was QB.
Tackle.
QB. No. Let me cook. Let me cook right now. QB, a good wideout, and offensive lineman. That was their goal going into the draft. Do you think they met that goal?
I think they picked players in those positions.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not thrilled on any of the players they picked in said positions.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. Like I said, Baker and Polk, yes. May and that 3rd-round tackle from Penn State, I'm not sold on.
That one's going to take some time to be sold on because the last time we drafted a QB didn't work out so well. So I understand that take. I just think, 3rd overall pick, I feel like there wasn't a good trade offer out there for you to get a quarterback in the 1st round also. So I feel like with the 3rd overall pick, you had to get the quarterback. I know people disagree with that, but I think May does have a lot of upside for how young he is. I don't mind the pick. I just want to see where this goes going forward.
Like I said, worst case scenario, you got an actual serviceable quarterback in Milton at least.
Yeah. For this year, yep.
For this year, but I don't know. I'm not like this draft class. It's good.
It was a really good draft class.
It at least shows excitement for the fans coming up, and it's gonna be interesting to see. Again, I'm not sold. I wasn't sold on any of the quarterbacks in this draft, other past
Penix and Bo Nix.
Penix. Oh, he's Nix as a passer.
Yeah.
We'll see what he's gonna be like in Denver with absolutely no weapons with him.
That's true too. Yeah.
I mean, Penix is gonna walk into a great situation.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy's walking into a pretty decent situation too, as long as they can block him.
Yep.
But you know, I just don't know. Like I said, I don't like May.
You didn't. You did say that from the beginning. Yep. And we have somebody in chat here where I just saw it not too long ago.
Somebody said Jaden Daniels is.
No, somebody said I totally agree with Mike. I wanted MHJ.
Yeah, think about it. I think big play wide receivers make teams at least exciting, and you can really have almost anybody throw
I
to him.
get that argument too. They haven't had a good wide receiver in a while.
Since
like
Randy
a number
Moss.
one, like a true number one, they haven't had that in a while. So I understand that.
You haven't had a big play guy since Randy Moss.
True.
And I mean, look at it. Like you look at Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase still finished a top 5 wide receiver in the league without Burrow for half the year.
Yeah.
Players like good players make plays no matter who's at quarterback.
Yeah.
I just think that you could have gotten Marvin Harrison, and then maybe you try seeing these quarterbacks go, and there's somebody else you like Nix or McCarthy, and you're afraid they're gonna go. Maybe you could have traded up. But I think getting May, I don't think he's a 3rd overall talent, right? And that's always been, as much as people want to crush Bill for his drafting, he always has a good philosophy. Is you don't draft for need, you draft the best prospects.
Yes.
Not what you need.
Right.
And that's how you end up with good, staying good, is you find people that can play, and then you find positions for them to play. I think Marvin Harrison would I think Joe Alta would have been a better pick than than Drake May. I think Marvin Harrison would have been better. I don't think J.C. Latham would have been better. I don't think Malik Neighbors. I just don't think May at 3 is going to be something that's going to turn your franchise around.
Not immediately right away. I don't think. I think that's going to take some time. Well, I think we can both agree on this. They're not doing anything this year. They're probably going to get maybe 5 and 12 wins.
5 and 12. That's the line. I'm going under the 6.5 or wherever the hell Vegas put them. I'm going under, taking the under all day, twice on Sunday. Rookie head coach Jacoby Brissett sucks. He'll make you competitive, and then in the 2-minute drive, when you think he's going to mount a comeback, he's going to throw a pick 6 in the end zone like he always does every single game.
You would know the Jacoby Brissett game too, because he was a Cleveland Brown quarterback.
The amount of times that I'm like, oh sweet, it's first and goal on the 5-yard line with 1:30 left, down 3. This is easy. Score the touchdown, get the 2 points, and all you have Nick Chubb, and instead of running the ball, they gave it to Brissett to throw, and he throws a mallard into 5 DBs with no wide receiver. I've seen it so many times. It is so frustrating.
Oh my god, man!
The only time he actually pulled it off was against the Bucs, which I don't know how the hell he pulled it off.
That is kind of crazy.
It was the only time ever. But other than that, every other time I'm pretty sure the Commanders. There's a Commanders fan in there that might remember.
There's a Commies fan in this chat here.
I'm pretty sure it was against Commanders 2 years ago when Brissett threw a pick in the end zone, if I remember correctly, and it made me fucking angry. So angry.
That's nuts. For the most part, this offseason, though, they didn't really make any big moves, and it's kind of sad because again, they had the money to go out and just go crazy. And me personally, I don't feel like they went crazy in free agency or with what they needed. So I feel like for the free agents, maybe you could have used. I mean, T. Higgins wasn't available or whatever, but you could have used the money to get yourself I don't know, So I feel like they could have done better, in my opinion. I just wish they did more. And they didn't do They didn't do really much this offseason, so that's why I have them under 500 for, what's this now, the third year in a row?
I also think that they have a tough schedule. There's a chance you might see 0-8 out the gate.
Oh, man. Cincinnati, that's a loss.
Seattle,
That might be a win.
It might be a win. The Jets, if Rodgers is healthy,
That's a loss.
because you almost lost to Zach Wilson
Yeah.
last year with the
Yeah.
Jets. Now put him with a real quarterback, and now they have some better weapons around him too.
Yeah.
The Jets are gonna be scary.
San
You're losing to
Francisco,
San Fran.
lost.
You're probably gonna lose to Miami.
Yeah.
Houston, you're gonna get spanked.
Lost.
Jacksonville, you might, I don't know. It's in London. You never know. Weird shit happens in London.
Yeah.
You never know. The Jets, you're gonna lose.
Yep.
The Tennessee, I think, might be your first win. That I'm confident you're probably gonna win.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They're not that good anymore. You're right.
So you know what I mean. But again, you're at Tennessee. That's gonna be tough. Then you're at Chicago. Maybe Caleb Williams pulls, shakes off the rookie jitters
Yeah.
because he's got a good team around him. The Rams, that's gonna be that'll be a dogfight with McVay. He's always a great coach. Miami, Indianapolis is gonna be a toss, in my opinion. If
Yep.
Anthony Richardson's healthy, I think Richardson's a dog.
Arizona.
You'll beat Arizona. You're gonna lose.
Buffalo.
Buffalo lost.
You might split Buffalo this year.
You
don't think so?
No. I don't think it's gonna matter. Josh Allen will just run the ball for 400 yards down your throat. You have no linebackers to stay up on Josh Allen.
Okay.
You have Josh Uche as your linebackers. I'm pretty sure he's it's him and Juwan Bentley.
So let's pull up.
So yeah, it's Juwan Bentley, Tavai, and Uche.
Yep. And then you got Matthew Judon,
But he's a rush.
Yeah,
He's not a real linebacker.
Yep.
Taki's a decent linebacker, but other than that, you got no other linebackers here. Nobody. What the?
Yep.
You know what I mean? The only thing you could do is if you put somebody like Jabril Peppers down in the box.
Yep.
But other than that, there's a chance. So looking at the schedule again, I'm thinking you got Tennessee will be a win. You might win one Miami game.
I don't even know about that one, honestly. I think Miami might sweep you.
Honestly, now that they got Odell, they got a lot of firing power.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. I'll be pretty. What the hell's going on with the cat?
It's okay.
All right. I'm gonna be pretty loose with it. I'm gonna say Seattle, Tennessee, Indy, Arizona, Chargers. 5.
All right. So
And that's me being frivolous with these picks and not conservative.
All right. I'm gonna go with Seattle. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I'll go Chicago. That might be a good matchup, though. I will say that might be a good matchup. I'm gonna go Chicago. I'm gonna go Indianapolis. Let's see, Chargers. And I might say Arizona. Yeah.
That puts you at 6.
6-11. Somebody Ben in the chat said 6-11 too. I have to agree. I would say 6-11. What's that? 3 years in a row? I actually predict 6-11 too. God damn!
And by the way, if you're like, oh, why the Pats only have one primetime game? Go pound sand. they have nobody on this team worth watching.
My buddy Steven said the same thing. He's like, dude, that kind of sucks that they only have one primetime game or whatever. I'm like, dude, do they really deserve one?
No. Technically, they have 2 if you think about the 9:30 game.
Oh well, that don't count.
It's a prime time.
Yeah, probably for England.
Not even. I think it's like 3 o'clock in England time.
Is it actually?
I think they're only 6 hours ahead of us.
Oh damn.
So it's not even real prime time.
No, it's not.
So they don't deserve prime time games this year.
No, they don't.
Sorry.
No.
No, they don't have. And the competition that they're playing this year, I mean, it's not like there are gonna be any close games.
No.
That's gonna make it worth.
Right.
So.
Might have to hold off on Patriot videos this year. Because I did 2 of them last year. They both backfired.
Not really.
Well, no, the one did. One didn't, but one did. The Miami one I went to did backfire. So.
Yeah.
What do we think next? Celtics or Bruins?
We'll do the Bruins. Get them done. Because
Yeah.
Celtics are going to be the best to talk about.
Yeah. There's nothing but praise for the Celtics. But the Bruins, though, oh, man. I'll tell you right now, man. Whew. We got some discussions to talk about the Bruins.
What's up, Boston Bruins? Boston Bruins!
The Bruins. Yet again. What else is new with them? Second year in a row, they fall to the Florida Panthers. And there's a lot of controversy going on with it right now, but I still feel like for the Bruins, they lost the series themselves. I mean, there's a lot of ticky-tack with, like, the refs screwed them this game and that game, so on and so forth, but that's totally true. Both can be true. The refs sucked, but the Bruins sucked also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Game 6 there, you have four Bruins players looking at the puck in the defensive zone and they can't clear it.
Right.
And one of the four Bruins players is screening Swayman so he doesn't see where the puck is, and Forsling who came in and just hammered that home.
Yep.
Like, Swayman doesn't have a play because he can't see the puck, and you have four people just looking at the puck.
Right.
You can't blame the refs for not clearing.
Right, exactly. You can't blame the refs for not shooting the puck also.
Yeah.
Game 4, shoot the puck. Shoot the puck. Like, I've never heard a chant like that before at the Garden.
Yeah. It was pretty sad to say that there was very low shooting.
Who, in your opinion, outside the refs, worst performance in the postseason?
Worst performance in the postseason?
Yeah.
I would. It's tough to say because he had a heroic game last round, but I gotta go with Pastrnak.
That's a good point. I'm grabbing my water real quick.
I gotta go Pastrnak in this one only for the fact
It's
of,
tough.
You know, he besides the goal in Game 7 to win it,
What did he really do?
Didn't show up.
Yeah.
He's your best player. He's a paid top 10 player in the league. Paid like it, and honestly, he scores like it.
Yeah.
But God, he sucks at puck handling. He sucks at passing. Like, he just doesn't show up in the postseason.
Yeah.
He didn't show up at all.
Pasta would be my number 2 answer. My number 1 answer, oh my God, yeah, they're spamming in the chat. I gotta say Charlie McAvoy, man. Oh my God, the entire series, I felt like he was playing for the other team. Just giving the puck away, making the bad pass, or just icing the puck every time. It just felt like watching him play. It gave me a freaking headache. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was some plays that he made where I was questioning, like, is he done with this team? Is he like moving on to whatever his next path is in life? Like, I don't know, man. Like, McAvoy, to me, he's definitely better than that. So this was like the real first postseason for me with McAvoy where he played bad. So I mean, am I gonna ship him off? No, I don't think I'm gonna ship him off right now. But he's got to turn it around.
I mean, I think the Florida Panthers just have a style of play that it's so smothering to the Bruins that it's hard for them to really do anything. For some reason, they just have their number in the breakout. Like, the transition game, the Bruins, like, for some reason, when you're watching it, it felt like there's 8 Panthers on the ice and only 3 Bruins at all time.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea what was going on. So, like, the turnovers were tough because it just felt, like I said, it just felt so smothering of a defense by them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I will defend I don't think McAvoy is, the number 1 to blame here. I mean, I think he needs to shoot the puck some more when he's on the offensive zone.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. Also, there were some plays where
I would like to see him shoot the puck some more.
I was gonna just add on to that too because there was because fast forwarding it to the offensive side also. Was it Cam Neely or Don Sweeney who said that they want McAvoy to be like Bobby Orr? What was the comparison for McAvoy?
They want him to shoot more.
Yeah, they want him to shoot more. They want him to be like I don't know the comparison off the top of my head, but they say he can be like the next greatest defenseman of all time for the Bruins franchise. And he just hasn't been that. This series, at least, even you could even argue the first round, he wasn't really that guy. And I'm going to say this, too, because this was my tweet after Game 4, and this was my tweet after the press conference with Don Sweeney the day after the Game 4. Jim Montgomery, great regular season coach, but it's time to pack it up and head off to Russia or wherever the fuck you need to go, man. I'm sorry, but Monty, the things that they were saying in that press conference, him and Don Sweeney, oh, we're not a volume shooting team, so we're not going to have high shot numbers. Well, if you don't have high shot numbers, you're not going to put the puck on the net to create chances to score goals. And when you don't score goals, you lose games. And what did you do? You lost games. And you lost kind of manhandled from the Florida Panthers.
I mean, I just think going into this playoffs, if you thought the Bruins were gonna make it to the Stanley Cup, or even,
I didn't. I'm not saying I did.
If you thought that they were even gonna make it to the third round, I think you'd be smoking crack.
Really?
Yes, their ceiling was when it was. I think their ceiling was making the playoffs and being competitive round one, winning the first round and going to the second round. I think that was like a great season mark for them, and the fact that they made round two competitive against a Panthers team that is a fucking wagon in my opinion. Like, top to bottom, Panthers got a wagon of a team. They obviously have, out of the top 10 players, they might in the matchup, they might have eight or 7 of the best players, talent-wise, going into the matchup between the Panthers and the Bruins.
I'm not going to disagree with that take, but he would be my counter argument with you. For most of the season this year, the Bruins were either the best team in the Eastern Conference or the second best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I think it was streaky play. I don't think.
So you think they overachieved this year? Then?
I think it was a complete overachievement.
Okay, well then, all right.
You look at. There's no way that this roster should have gotten you 109 points. This roster would be lucky to make 90 points. I don't know what the fuck happened, and I think this is where you look at Montgomery, and I think Montgomery isn't the problem. I think Montgomery gets these players to play at a high level, and for some reason, like this to me. Seems like Billy Ball A's. Billy Bean A's. This is Moneyball A's, in my opinion, with the Bruins. This is a team.
Well, look at the moves they made in the trade deadline also.
But that's what I'm saying. You got a bunch of scrubs together and somehow pulled magic out of your ass and made a pretty good playoff run.
So here's why I blame Monty, because again, I mentioned that they were at one point overachieving, like you said. If you're the first seed in the if you're the best team in the East or even the second best team in the East, you should be a cup contender. And the fact that you fell at the end of the season, you lost home ice advantage to these Florida Panthers towards the end of the season. They didn't play that good at the end of the year, and then they just felt. And for some reason, the second round they kind of went away with their play, physical, aggressive on the offensive end. They went away with that. When this team's doing good, they always relax and fall apart. That's where I put the blame on Monty, because he needs to motivate these guys to continue the energy, continue the tone, and I don't think that there's any energy in that locker room going into the locker room after the first period. I don't.
Okay. This is where I'm going to disagree completely. They were so hurt at the end of the regular season that they just limped. Once they made it to the postseason, home ice doesn't matter in hockey. It doesn't matter. There was between the first round and the second round, there was only 3 home games won. The entire of those rounds, 3 home games won. Home ice doesn't matter in hockey. It doesn't matter. So they were limping to the playoffs because of how hurt and banged up that they were. That they weren't it didn't matter if they won or not. They made it to the playoffs.
You know how many years though, as a Bruins fan, I hear about the injuries or whatever though. We heard about that last year when they had the historic season.
They don't have anybody else to play for them though. They don't have a farm. They don't have an AHL team that has players that can come up.
So can I follow this with? I'll follow it with this question then.
What?
What do you think the Bruins need to do to improve their roster going
They
forward?
need true first-line offense players.
Okay.
Pavel Zacha and Charlie Coyle aren't first-line centers.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You get exposed You get exposed when that happens.
I agree with that. So
They got exposed in the face-off department all postseasons because of that.
who do you think's the problem?
I don't think there's any problem.
I think
You
it's-
should be happy.
I think it's Don Sweeney.
I don't understand what the problem is. Why aren't you happy? The Bruins overachieved. They were supposed to be shit this year. They were supposed to be shit. It's their first year without Patrice Bergeron, and they actually made a competitive run in the playoffs. You figured out that you have a goaltender of the future in Swayman.
I will agree with that.
Swayman is your goalie. Get rid of Allmark. Save the money. Go get somebody else.
If you could trade him, because they gave him a no trade clause.
Who doesn't matter? It's only a 16-team trade clause.
Oh, it is.
It's only yes. He only has 16 teams he can veto.
Okay.
Go trade Allmark. Keep Swayman. Go get somebody else to be cheap backup. You don't need to have two horses, especially if you're going to only play one in the postseason. And go get you have the 7th most cap space in the entire league right now.
That's gonna be huge.
And you have rookies that are actually exciting. Brazo played pretty damn good. Beecher played pretty damn good. Patriots before he got hurt played pretty damn good. You have a good young core coming up. Lorai. You have a good core.
He played well.
You have a young core that's pretty damn good, and you have like Marchand is gonna stay for a while, for a couple more years. Pasternak is locked up long term. McAvoy's locked up long term. Like Zacha, you keep Zacha. You try to keep Coyle. You try to keep DeBrusque too if DeBrusque will stay for cheap.
Oh, we need DeBrusque.
But you know what I mean? Like if you can retain most of your players for cheap, you still have $20 million in cap to go get real players.
Well, I think DeBrusque.
You can go get 2 real players.
DeBrusque is going to cost more than $1 million, though. You think?
You have $28 million.
Is it 28?
You have $28 million in cap space. You have, and that.
I thought it was 22.
It's 28.
Okay, well.
You have so much money.
Don't worry, we'll cut this part out.
You have so much money to get people. I don't understand. Like, that's why I'm like, you overachieved. Working Geeky should not be your second line center. And the fact that you fought with Forda all the way with Morgan Geeky as your second center.
I mean, 6-1, 6-2. I mean, the 2-1 games. I mean, those are close.
3-2, 2-1, 2-1.
3-2. You got screwed by the refs.
Yes, exactly. You got screwed in one of those games, and your defense fell apart. Not your defense, but your whole team just kind of fell apart in Game 6. They got the air came deflated out from them after that Forsling goal. If that Forsling goal, if they clear that puck and they don't get that, I think they would have won that game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Home ice doesn't matter in the postseason, and you just at the end of the day, the better roster wins. That's what always happens.
I didn't have Bruins beating the Panthers anyway.
I didn't have the Bruins being the Maple Leafs. Like I said, the better roster wins.
Yeah,
and the Maple Leafs have a great roster, but Maple Leafs are gonna Maple Leafs.
That's why I predicted That's why I predicted Bruins.
But you shouldn't be mad over this playoffs. They played damn good.
I mean,
you played phenomenal. You overachieved. You take this as a win. You build around your young core. You keep your stalwarts, and you try to bring in some people like that. Let's say, like I would keep Maroon. I would try and keep JVR if he doesn't retire. I think they played pretty well. Your defense is pretty set. I mean, Grizzly can walk for the most part.
Let's read chat real quick.
Okay, so quickly, your defensive pairing you said. I think Lindholm isn't the issue, and I think McAvoy is gonna be fixed.
I think he'll turn it around.
I think Forda just gives them nightmares matchup wise, and that they're just so smothering in their thing. And that McGuire guy, I want to punch in the face because he's such a damn good. He's like the Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
He's a damn good coach, and he's really fucking annoying. But if he was a coach of your team, you'd be really happy.
Yeah.
But them Carlo played pretty well. Witherspoon played mediocre, but I mean that again. If that's your sixth defenseman, you're not. It's not. It is what it is. Lorai played pretty damn good.
I like Lorai. Lorai's got a good future, I think.
Yeah.
I think the young players are good. I mean,
Lorai and Carlo as a second line.
I think you just need more talent. I think that's what this ship
yes. You need a number one center. You need a
we can both agree on that.
And you need another wing.
We can both agree on that.
You need somebody who can come you need a Bergeron 2.0. Somebody who's gonna win faceoffs and is a good setup man. And you need another forward that can actually carry the puck.
Get something good for Oli and send him somewhere where he can contend. We got that comment right there. Someone said lots of liabilities in the Bruins defense. Someone said I hate Monty for that. Someone also said get McAvoy out of here. He wasn't good at all. A liability. And I agree. Swayman is your goalie for the future. I don't think you need the two goalies anymore. That was great at first because you had Omar kind of mentoring Swayman at first, but I don't think you need that anymore. I think Omar could go. Save yourself $5 million there too. You can bring another winger on there as well. Right. I'm not saying the Bruins I'm not saying that the Bruins had a bad year, but this was the Bruins being the Bruins, and I've seen a lot of that in the last few years.
Young core. Beecher played pretty dang good. Beecher as a fourth liner, Boquist as a fourth liner is actually serviceable. Frederick is still 26, so him as a third liner I'm fine with. Geeky is if he's a third liner, 25. Lauko 24. Those people. Zaka's 27, so him if he could be your first line. I'm just looking else.
Zaka first line, you said?
Zaka's a first. I think Zaka's a playmaker. Dude's an actual playmaker.
I'd say second.
Again, if you can get a true number one center, yes, Zaka is a second center.
Yes,
but you need to find somebody.
That's my ideal. So,
Matty Patriots is 20, Brazo 26, who just came up. You have a decent young core. You actually have people that can actually play, that are young, that are going to be good. If you just need to bring in some more people to shore it up,
you definitely need more talent. Definitely more talent on this team.
Offensive talent.
We'll see. Let's see. I mean, let's see what Don Sweeney pull. He hasn't really been able to get out of the second round, past the second round in the last few years. So again, there's really, for me at least, no faith there. But that's why I'm saying. It's either got to be. For me, it's either Monty or Sweeney. One of those two have to go. So just a clean, fresh look at the top, a new mindset. Someone said, "Hey, McDavid." I mean, shit. Who's even a free agent this coming off season?
That's what exactly I was gonna look up.
Perfect. Great minds think alike, guys. Great minds think alike.
Sam Reinhart.
Is he a center? I thought he was a winger. If you look up all positions.
Center.
Yeah, there you go.
Right here.
Available.
Reinhart,
I'm sorry.
sorry.
Reinhart is a center. And the top one is Steven Stamkos.
Stamkos is old, though. 34.
I would take him still.
I mean, I'd rather go with Reinhart.
I mean,
Reinhart to me.
He led the NHL in power play goals this year.
Yep. Lindholm for Vancouver.
Gensel I would take from Carolina. I would take him. Lindholm I would take. Elias Lindholm from Vancouver. I would take him. We're aiming big here, guys. We're aiming big. We're
Well,
not,
think about it. With that kind of money, you could get Reinhart,
yeah.
and that hurts the Panthers. That helps you.
Yep.
And
now we
I'm
go
trying
to
to think.
forwards.
I'm trying to think of all forwards here. See if there's anybody that really is sticking out. Which,
Not really at the moment.
well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what this whole.
Oh.
Voracek. No.
Nope. How
He's
would you
old.
go forecheck? I would go I'd bring Bertuzzi back. The energy he brought in that first round series, I would take him back in a heartbeat.
I would as well. I don't know how to say his name, but the guy in Vegas.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Let's just say Jonathan.
So think.
Tarasenko would be nice.
I think Tarasenko didn't show up in this playoffs. I wouldn't. I wasn't a fan. But, you know what I mean? So right there, right?
Tyler Toffoli would be a nice move.
So think about that, right? If you can get Toffoli, Bertuzzi, and Reinhart,
Yep.
that right there fixes your offense.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Your first line would be, in my opinion, and again, if you can re-sign DeBrusque, and I think Frederick's also a free agent.
Maybe, but I think you definitely got to keep Jake DeBrusque. We got to keep DeBrusque over Barzal.
But you think about that, if you go Reinhart, Bertuzzi, and Pasternak as your first line. Second line would be Marchand, Zacha, and DeBrusque.
Yeah.
Like that to me is a true first
That's just
line.
your first line moving down to the second.
Basically.
That's what it basically comes down to.
Third line, Coyle's a good third line center. You put him with Coyle, Frederick, and you find some, Matty Patras coming back.
Yeah.
And then Borquist.
Boquist, yes.
Boquist. Oh my God. I'm blanking on everybody else. Boquist, Lauco, Geeky, Beecher, some combination in there. Like that to me is a better offense going into next year.
Yeah. And then next year you shouldn't have an excuse.
And you still have, and then that still leaves you, right? That still leaves you with like JVR, Maroon, and Heinen.
Right.
On somewhere to fill in for like injury rotations.
Yeah.
And you can send other people like up and down and all of that.
Yep.
And like I think your defense is, you can get one more person on defense, but personally to me, if you can get Reinhart, Bertuzzi, and Toffoli, I think that. I mean, we didn't even mention Toffoli in that rearrangement of the offense. So you might not even need him if you can get Bertuzzi, Reinhart, and then defenseman.
You know who was one player I would bring back though? I would bring back Maroon.
Exactly. Yes.
I would bring back Maroon because he brought
Maroon.
a physical presence in that second half of the year that you did not have at the first half of the year.
You need somebody with balls.
Yep.
You need somebody that can go in there and toss bodies around.
Give him the Lucic deal. It was like $1 million with incentives to go up to $1.5 million. I would give him that. All right.
Brandon Montour. Boom. That's who I would get. Another Panther. You've seen him plenty of times show up in the postseason.
And then Matt Grzelcyk, see you later.
Exactly. You can swap out Montour for Grzelcyk and get Reinhart and Bertuzzi. That right there for your $28 million.
Perfect.
Boom. Done.
Then it's Bruins. You don't really have an excuse next year.
Exactly.
Then Don Sweeney, I'll forgive you. Alright, you guys, so a little update on this video here. So this podcast was recorded just a little bit before the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers for the Boston Celtics. We did a Celtics segment on this podcast, but I honestly thought, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I honestly thought that this series was going 6 games at max, 5 minimum. So I thought I had more time to edit this podcast than I did. Celtics surprised me. They took care of business. They swept the Pacers, and now they are moving on to the NBA Finals. We will do a only Boston Celtics podcast within these next 8 or 9 days. And I forgot to mention, too, if you want to watch the Celtics portion of this podcast here, because, again, we did do a Celtics portion to this podcast here, I will leave a link to us doing this podcast live on stream in the description down below. So if you want to check it out, go check out the live stream playback that we did. That is where you'll get the Celtics segment from this podcast here. We did do a segment before the Eastern Conference Finals, but obviously this podcast here is going to be coming out after the Celtics swept the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. So be on the lookout for that podcast. We got plenty of time to do the next one because the Celtics are in the NBA Finals in 8 days. And the next clip that you're going to see is pretty much us closing up the podcast here. And thank you guys for watching this podcast. That's going to do it for this podcast here. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe now if you guys new. You guys know what to do. Go check out our website. The link is in the description down below. Go follow my boy Mike on Instagram. His links are in the description down below as well. Thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy Jesse.
It's been Mike.
And we're out of here.
Peace.
See you later. That was good. That was the best one we've ever had.
It was pretty clean.
Yeah, it was.
Beantown.
Beantown.
Beantown.